Hey, it's Jessica. So, today I wanted to talk to you about managing your emotions, especially emotions when you're feeling frustrated or angry. Feeling frustrated and feeling angry are normal emotions, and usually, feeling frustrated and feeling angry are emotions and reactions that are related to things that are outside of our control. So, while we can't control those situations, we can control our emotions when something happens to us that's unexpected, and we can control our reaction to those situations when things happen. One of the first and one of the easiest things that you can do when something unexpected happens to you is to actually stop and take a deep breath. And I know that sounds really easy and really simplistic. However, stopping and taking a breath actually gives your brain a cycle and a chance to stop and think about what is happening. So when I say stop and take a deep breath, literally take a deep breath. So stop, hold your breath for 4 seconds, release it, and then do that as many times as you need to before having a reaction to a situation. That the reason why that's so important is because if you are feeling angry or frustrated and you have an immediate reaction to something that's happened, usually a decision or a reaction that you have to something, or a reaction to a trigger or something that happens unexpectedly will not be a good one. So when you do that, when you take a second to have a moment to stop and think and breathe through it, you will usually make a better decision. Um, After you've done that, I want you to think about, so here's step number two. So after you've done that and you're kind of calm, I want you to think about possible positive solutions to that situation. When something happens, you cannot just, you're angry, this is your normal response, that's what you do. What you want to do is think about maybe at least three things that you can do that are positive, that will have a positive outcome for you, and then choose the best one for that situation. After you're calm, it's always best to self-reflect and think, did I make the best decision? Was there something else that I could have done? In the process of doing self-reflection, another thing that you want to think about some decisions that you make that typically have negative or bad outcomes. So if you know that, yelling, if you know that cursing, if you know that hitting, if you know that making threats, if you know that makes the situation worse for you, then that should not be options. Those should not be options that you choose as a reaction to those triggers. You always want to choose something that's going to have a positive outcome. As I tell my students, think about something that's going to make your problem go away. Think about something that's going to make your problem smaller, not something that's going to keep the problem going. And then another thing that I want you to think about is to check your own reality. A lot of times when we're feeling frustrated or upset, we're doing stuff to keep that problem going. And I don't mean to make the crazy sign, but check your reality. What are you bringing to the situation? Sometimes we might have to control ourselves before having a reaction to the situation. And controlling our emotions and controlling our anger is just like working out. It's something that you're going to have to work at. At the end of the day, after you've had like a situation that's been frustrating or challenging for you, like I said, self-reflection is always good, and to also check in with yourself and making sure that you're doing things that are going to keep you calm overall. If you let the worries or the frustration of each day carry over into the next day, it's going to continue to keep you kind of locked in this loop of repeated frustrations. So what you want to do is practice self-care or do things throughout your day that bring you to your normal state of emotions, basically. So if you take a moment to listen to some music, I have music playing in the background right now. If you like having candles, any self-reflection, working out, talking to people that you care about, doing things that you enjoy, just to keep you in that positive state. Because if you have had a bad day, and you just go to sleep and you still have that bad day in your mind, the next day something small could happen, and then that becomes another trigger for you. And then if something unexpected happens, the cycle continues. You might snap off, have a bad reaction, and then it just continues to happen. So So make sure that you're doing these things to calm down, make positive choices, and self-reflect on your actions. My last step that I would recommend is that you start to think about ways that you are responding to situations. So if something unexpected happens, you really have to check yourself and think about, is the situation even that important? You don't want to have the same, elevated response to minor triggers. Okay, you don't want to have elevated responses to minor frustrations. So think about the size of the problem, and that should be the size of your reaction. Think about, is this something that I can let go? Is it something that I have to respond to? And if it is something you have to respond to, make sure you are calm before responding to that situation. That's it in a nutshell. I mean, there are going to be unexpected things that happen every day, throughout our day, throughout our week, throughout time. But we have to be able to monitor our emotions and check our reactions so that when these things happen, it just becomes easier and easier to have, a small response to those things. Everything should not have a big response or cause us to be, frustrated or, keep the anger going. If you do practice calming yourself down when things frustrate you, you will be able to quickly recover from those things. Whereas if you are having, emotional responses, negative emotional responses to triggers, the more you do that, the more frustrated and angry you will stay. Thanks for listening. Hope this helps. Let me know.